At Visiting Angels, we're committed to enriching the lives of elders and their significant others. Our monthly coffee chat sessions aim to make your lives easier and better by providing quality information from our expert panelists. We're here to elevate your quality of life, offer practical wisdom, and ensure you have access to valuable insights.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a great time. Thank you all so much for joining us today. And I hope that you're having a great Wednesday morning. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here. And as we all know, here at Visiting Angels, we know that caring for an older loved one can be incredibly meaningful, but especially during the holiday season, it can be also overwhelming. And today's coffee chat was created with that in mind to offer support, practical guidance, and moment to pause and breathe. So we're excited to welcome our expert panelist today, a human services social worker with Winter Growth Inc., and she brings more than 20 years of experience supporting older adults, caregivers, and families through every stage of care. And her work is rooted in compassion, advocacy, and helping people find calm and connection even during life's busiest moments, just like the holidays. Anyway, I hope you guys find this coffee chat episode really, really valuable. And I'm so excited to have our expert panelist here. If you have any questions, just let us know. We'll read them out loud for you, and you can just drop them in the comment section, and we'll be checking them from time to time. Anyway, um, yeah, I'd like to thank our speaker today, and without further ado, I'd like to give the stage to Becky Donahue.
Thank you, Dexter, and hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday morning to all. Happy holidays. I hope your holiday season is going well so far, and I'm glad that you all are here to um, listen to what I have to share. But I do certainly hope that you all take the opportunity to also maybe share some positive experience you have in caring for your loved one during the holiday rush, I'll say, right? And and if you have any questions at any time, like Dexter said, you can just put them in the chat or raise your hand if that's an option as well. You guys, I just really want it to be meaningful for everyone here. Um, and I hope everyone leaves this morning um, with a little new tool for their tool case and can use it if they need it during this holiday season. I also hope everyone has a warm cup of coffee close by or that hot cocoa or whatever it might be to warm you on this cold morning. At least it's a cold morning here um, where I'm at. So um, again, I'm just going to be talking about kind of how good ways to celebrate the holiday season when you're caring for a loved one who might not be able to necessarily do all the things that they may have once done during the holiday season. So hopefully a little, tricks and tips in that regard. But then I do want to just touch kind of on stress a little bit, and then hopefully some positive ways of limiting the stress. I think it's impossible to avoid stress, especially during this holiday rush, holiday season that we're in. But it's learning how to cope with it and having the skills and building the resilience to best enjoy the holiday season. So kind of just going into very much of kind of what I was just sharing. So, during the holiday season, there's a mixed emotions, right? Um, there's hopefully moments of joy and nostalgia, but with all the rush and the to-dos on everyone's list, um, that stress can definitely rise during this season. And obviously, when you're caring for someone with dementia or with any type of need for someone to have an extra, special attention on them and be caring for them, that can just add a level of complexity in your day to day during this holiday time. So recognizing that you might have little bits of elevated stress here and there during this time is very common, and trust me, you are not alone. There are other people that feel that way. So being a part of a program like this today and reaching out to your network and your different support systems can be so valuable to help you get through this time of the year. um, and why is that? A lot of routines will change. You have to do some extra shopping perhaps to prepare for the gifts. You may have to go to the grocery store a few more extra times, and trying to organize and coordinate who's going to be caring for my loved one while I'm running around and doing all these errands or participating in the different gatherings. You may be questioning or wondering, is this a gathering that my loved one will enjoy? How will we navigate the home of our friends that we've been going to for so many years now with these physical limitations that are, persist? So there's definitely different thoughts that may be creating again these stressful thoughts. But if you can try to focus on the little pieces of the day to day and celebrate the smiles and celebrate the happiness, but think about where you're going to be going. Are people coming to the house? Are you going to a friend's house? Are you going to a family member's house? Are you going to have all these little grandkids running around? So there's a lot of pieces of maybe some extra communication with the families and friends that you'll be sharing the holiday season with, so that you can best not educate, but give them the information so that hopefully everyone is prepared, so that everyone can be a part of supporting you as the caregiver while you are caring for your loved one, right? So just really having that extra communication so that you can prepare yourself for these fun moments is hopefully what we all can do this season. So I think one of the first things is sometimes people, you may want to simplify some of the traditions. You might want to scale things down a little bit, um, especially for folks who have some cognitive impairments. Those loud gatherings that you may have been experiencing for throughout your entire life. We are on slide three, Dexter. I apologize. Um, but you want to you want to just make sure that you're not going to be creating extra anxiety for your loved one that you're caring for, um, by trying to have these grand scale traditions that you may have once done. And so I know that's hard to say, oh, just stop doing what you've always done. um, but sometimes scaling it down can create those meaningful moments for you and your loved one. So some ideas that I've put together: decorating a small tree or a wreath together. Maybe you don't have to pull out all the boxes of decorations that you once did. And that's okay. I think family and friends will understand if they come to visit and you don't have all the added decorations throughout your house, or whatever it might be. Or you didn't make as many cookies as you always once did. Um, I think a great thing for folks is music. I often will say, um, where I work, how meaningful music and memory and how strong of a tool that can be. So I really hope that at some point during the holiday season, you have the opportunity to sing along with some carols, and hopefully it will bring you and your loved one again some smiles. Um, Also, another great sensory type of activity is baking cookies. You know, enjoying those scents. Maybe even getting your hands in the dough to release some stress while you're, dough getting that dough prepared, right? So again, more sensory rich. So music, touch, smell. Really trying to encompass some of those good with your loved one, I think will be key too. We're going to go to slide 4. Um, so I think also what's important to consider again during the holiday time, and I know I'm focusing on kind of the loud crowds, but again, those gatherings grow during this time of the year for sure. And with that, sometimes can cause some anxiety or just overstimulation for your loved one. So you may want to create these moments of quiet time, right? So to again try to avoid that or prevent some of the fatigue and anxiety. So create a comfortable space, even if you're going to stay with a friend or a family. You may want to consider, bringing a couple of items that would really make your loved one feel comfortable in the place that they're staying at for the holiday. Or you may want to consider to have those friends where you always stayed with them. Now you're going to have them come stay with you. That might be the better option. You just really, you want to be considerate of creating those quiet moments where you can kind of escape and collect yourself and just some downtime, right? Sometimes you need that little downtime to help get through the different events. The next slide. And I think focusing on connection, it's the reason for the season, right? We're getting together with family and friends that we might not see all the time. But you wanna focus on those moments. So I love some of these ideas to consider during this time of the year. Sharing old family photos, and reminiscing, talking about the holidays of in the past can be, I think really wonderful. Watching favorite seasonal movies. I know that's something that me and my family have been doing throughout the December month, for sure. Um, Going and just enjoying the holiday lights. Maybe you're able to take a little walk outside or take a little drive outside and see some of the lights throughout the neighborhoods. Um, can create a special moment, hopefully. Um, but just little, even like, and it doesn't have to be something long or big. It might just be one special song that you all hear when you're driving to the grocery store that, kind of brings you some joy. So that could really be nice as well, right? Um, some other ideas, I would say maybe lofty ideas for some, but to think, um, memory ornament project is something that one of my friends recently shared with me that they did. Is so they kind of using some of those old holiday photos or some of the decorations and then putting it into ornaments and then creating something special to give to family members. I thought that was really kind of a neat thing. So it was kind of like a storytelling ornament, um, which I thought was pretty amazing. But maybe if your loved one is enjoys being in the kitchen, trying to do a cookie exchange and trying to bring some different flavors of cookies, to your friends and neighbors could be a nice thing. Music, music, music. I can't get enough of music. Sing-alongs. I can tell you again at the place that where I work, it's an adult medical day program. And so I have a lot of folks that come in, just throughout the week. and they love music. And so, and singing some of these carols um, just brings such nostalgia, to them. And it's such a great way to reminisce and talk about some of the good old songs, right? Um, and then even making some holiday cards. I know, again, I don't want to be thinking things that would cause added stress, but I just wanted to give some good ideas. Maybe that, that hands-on where, doing a good project inside, because not many of us want to be going outside when it's this cold out for sure. But creating some holiday cards and sending those out to your friends and family, or even having some of your grandkids come visit and make cards with them, and make it a special intergenerational kind of, you know, uh, holiday event for you all, right? That could be nice. All right. We're going to go to the next slide. So again, I think you just really want to focus on where your loved one's at in the moment of their care needs, and you want to do the best you can to manage them. And you also want to have those moments to celebrate with your loved one, and for you to have moments to celebrate and enjoy the season. Um, so it's important to try to just make sure that you can do the traditions, but you just might have to scale it down a notch or change it up just a little bit here and there. Um, and then I really love, the best gift you can share is the joy of being present together in the moments that matter most, right? But I do know that sometimes there are family and friends saying, "What can we get you? What do you all need?" Or they might be wanting to, get some gift ideas. Or if you're struggling and wanting to find that perfect gift for your loved one, my friend Andrea, she's a wonderful lady. She has a group called Wellness Strategies Group, and she's a dementia nurse. She is created this dementia friendly gift guide. So after the presentation, Dexter will go ahead and email you this comprehensive list that Andrea created, and it really has some wonderful ideas. Not only are they ones of comfort and sensory, so we're talking weighted blankets, different slippers, aromatherapy ideas. Um, if your loved one may be experiencing some safety or wandering, there's different alarms and sensors and clocks and really neat ideas. And so, again, this comprehensive list with all these different ideas, whether it's activities of engagement, um, you know, and she even then breaks it down, which is really wonderful, into some really great websites that have early stage, middle stage, and late stage, so that you can really get some good ideas that will hopefully be best for your loved one. But again, that's Dexter's going to send that list out to you all, because it's a great list if you're looking for some gift ideas. Um, Next slide. So I think with all of that fun and excitement, and how are you going to make the holidays best for you and your loved ones, I may have caused a little bit of stress for the folks that are listening, right? So hopefully I'm not overwhelming, but what I want to do now is kind of focus on what causes stress. And I think when we recognize what triggers stress for ourselves, we can hopefully try to lessen it or prevent it, because you know that if going to three different friends' house for a holiday party, which you've been doing your whole life, is something that there's no possible way you can do, communicating that and recognizing that and sharing that with your friends, they'll understand. They'll understand that you're not able to make it to all three events or even any of them. But allowing yourself some grace to share and be honest during this season, I think is important. So, recognizing what causes you stress and then stepping back. And sometimes it's, calling out to your support team and asking for a little extra support during this time. Or is it calling a home care agency like Visiting Angels to add some extra hours throughout your week so that you're able to manage and again celebrate and enjoy the holiday season, but making sure that your loved one's being cared for too. Next slide. So, kind of when you think about your emotions, right? And you think about stress. Years ago, I learned this little acronym. It's called NUTS, and it's the recipe for stress. So if you're having a hard time recognizing what may possibly or bring you stress, the recipe for stress, NUTS, can maybe give you some ideas. So NUTS stands for, or N, novelty. So that's something new you may have never experienced. And I think as a caregiver, it's pretty common to experience something new. And another one, U, is for unpredictability. So I almost certain that all the caregivers joining us this morning has definitely experienced where it's something you had no way of knowing it would occur, right? You didn't, you just never saw it. T is threat to ego, where your competence as a person is almost being called into question because you're like, can I really do this? This is really tough, right? And again, I'm sure some of you have experienced that. And then the last is S, which is sense of control, right? And you feel that you have little or no control over the situation. And again, I know that caregivers experience those moments where they just feel like they don't have control of the situation. So again, to just why are we stressing this so much? Truly, it's because being a caregiver is not an easy job, right? 24/7 caring for your loved one is hard in itself, but then you put the holiday rush and all those holiday demands that come with it. Again, it can be overwhelming. But stress can really cause some physical and physical health, mental health problems. So just to kind of go into some of this on the slide, compassion fatigue, right? So here you are just in the motions of being a caregiver at time. You might not recognize that you're tired. You're a little detached. You're sometimes irritable, which then, some people, you may have heard the term like caregiver burnout, right? So then you are just emotionally exhausted. And then before you know it, you kind of get in this cycle and this routine again of not being able to manage and meet your loved one's care needs, right? So that could be really hard. But with that, sometimes then you fall into chronic stress. And if you're experiencing chronic stress, that's when, those physical health conditions become a great concern. Your mental health will become a great concern. So this is, again, why you want to recognize during this holiday season, especially, what can cause you added stress, because you want to try to avoid it if you can, and try to communicate and reach out to your support system so that you don't fall into experiencing chronic stress where you're completely burnt out, where you're completely fatigued. And possibly some of you feel like you might be there right now. So then that's, again, reaching out to your support system. And if you're not sure where to start, Reaching out to Visiting Angels is a great start. Following up with me at some point is a great start. But we're going to keep on moving to the next slide to kind of continue again and stressing the impact of stress. So again, just your overall emotions, you can sense yourself being more moody, having a low morale, being irritable. There's just so many components that can just really bring you down emotionally. And then how are you going to be having fun celebrating the holiday season when you're just emotionally not in it, right? And then that in itself sometimes will have an impact on your relationships. So where you're withdrawing from the group activities. Now I know earlier I did mention, sometimes it's okay if you don't go to everything. Um, but and that is okay, but you don't want to completely withdraw yourself and isolate yourself, especially during the holiday season. Socialization and interaction is so key for our well-being. Um, so if you can do it, again, maybe you can't go to all three parties, but you can go to one of them, or maybe you just go to each of them, but just for a much shorter time than you once did. Because you don't want to neglect those relationships as best as you can. You want to have those support systems and because it's not only beneficial for you to have them in your life and a part of your life, it's also beneficial for the one that you care for. Sure, for sure. Next slide. So now hoping that we're gonna we're getting closer to the end of my slides, but so I think important piece is how can you do this? And this is where I hope maybe I can have a couple people enter in the chat. Maybe what they do to promote wellness within to create that mental resilience, right? What do you do that really helps? And if Dexter, if you see anything in the chat, I would love to hear them as well, so we can share them with the group. But some ideas that I think important, and I think some of these things I have said, I definitely have mentioned. Social support networks, having your support system, whatever that may be, it is so crucial to have someone you can lean on. And even if your support system is not, tons of people, most of the time it isn't. But you have your solid folks that you can depend on. Is it really, it's needed. I'm not sure if any of you have ever practiced doing mindfulness or meditation, but that can really be a great way to balance yourself and to refocus, and to recognize, what you need to do and accomplish throughout your day, kind of thing, right? But just kind of sometimes being mindful of what matters most. And just having that moment of silence for yourself so you can regain, and again, create that sense of balance. Help from professionals. I know I mentioned that as well. You want to reach out to Visiting Angels, home care support agencies like Visiting Angels. There's other different services. There's so many different opportunities, from geriatric case managers to different other types of programs, such as an adult medical day, assisted livings. But it's even professionals. It's even professionals that are, whether it be a therapist for yourself, or just meeting with your lawyer to make sure that all your finances are in line, or your estate planning or whatever. Again, I don't suggest you to plan a meeting to do estate planning right now, because that would be one added thing that I think you could wait until after the holidays. But again, knowing that there's so many professionals here in our area that support the senior population, So it can really be, it's they're out there, just a matter of asking the right folks to connect you to those resources. Another wonderful thing for everyone to do is to do some exercise. And I know it's cold out right now, but going outside and walking, or if it's doing walking up and down the stairs a few more times throughout the day, some type of exercise to put into your routine, your daily routine is crucial. Is crucial. I also think when you think about nutrition, it's so important. You want to fuel yourself with good energy, right? And obviously we all know what foods are good for us and what foods maybe aren't as good for us. But and during the holiday season, boy, are we often gifted with many sweet treats. But you want to be mindful that those sweet treats don't give you the energy as best as some other healthier options, right? So we want to be mindful of that and think about those good positive foods to eat. Your sleep is key, and I know sometimes being a caregiver, you you don't have good routine sleep because your loved one might be experiencing some challenges with their day and night routine, or you just need to manage and meet their care needs, so you're up in the middle of the night. But you want to try your best to get that good sleep that we all need. um, it's important for us, no matter how old you are, to get a good night's sleep, and you want that consistent sleep, right? um, the next one is really key, you may have um, to set some boundaries, and that's okay to allow yourself to have boundaries of what is too much or what is not enough. um Having those responsibilities that you do as a caregiver, again, is a lot. So it's okay to um it is okay to create those boundaries. And then just different practices, and this is again where I hope maybe some of you can share some ideas, and maybe give some or what you do or what you have done, or maybe something that sparked your interest throughout this presentation, that can help reinforce that the resiliency that you as caregivers have, whether you know it or not. The resiliency is in you for sure. So if you know that there's something that works for you, that helps alleviate that stress, that centers your mind, that balances your body, make that into your daily routine. I strongly suggest that. And I'm going to finish with one last thing. The holidays, and this is so the last slide, is the holidays can be joyful and challenging when dementia is a part of your story. Please know you are not alone, and I am wishing you peace, rest, and meaningful moments of connection this season. Um, so we have just about 20 minutes left in this presentation time frame. So if anyone has any questions, any thoughts, anything that they'd like to share, please let us know.
Awesome presentation there, Becky. Thank you very much. That was a smooth presentation. Oh, you're muted. Let's unmute you first.
So
There.
sorry. No. So thank you. Thank you, Dexter. And thank you all for joining. And like I said, yeah, let me know if there's any questions.
Where can they reach out to you if they wanna
Sure.
connect?
So I'll be happy to share with Dexter my contact information. I work at a place called Winter Growth. We're an adult medical day program and a small memory care assisted living in Olney, Maryland. I'm not sure where all of you are zooming in from, but so Montgomery County, Maryland, and it's a day program. And so I would be happy to have my email shared with you all. So I'll do that for sure. I can also
Okay.
probably put it in the chat. Could I do that too?
Yeah, sure. You could do that. Anyway, for everyone who's here, thank you very much for joining us. This coffee chat series and episodes happen every third Wednesday of the month. And they are designed to make your lives easier and better, of course, especially for those who are in the elder care community. And with that, we'll see you 2026. Okay. Becky's email address is in the chat box right now, and we'll be emailing you again. Okay. Nicole is on a basic other plan. Okay. Anyway, we will be emailing you the dementia friendly gift guide and the presentation. Is that right, Becky? We can
Yes,
email that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And yeah, Becky's contact information as well. So, any last message to our audience, Becky?
I just hope you all have a wonderful holiday season and again, make those little meaningful moments where you can and when you can. Um, don't overwhelm yourself. Sometimes you take it day by day. Sometimes we have to take it minute by minute. Just enjoy every one of those moments, okay? Happy holidays. Thank you, Dexter, and happy holidays to you as well.
Happy holidays to you as well. Happy holidays, everyone. See ya. Have a great day.